In this video, you will learn 5 classic blues harmonica riffs to spice up your playing. These also make great exercises for developing your bends, single notes, and blues rhythms as well, so you should stay to the end and check them all out. For today's lesson, you need a C harmonica, and 2 of our riffs do require bends, but I'll save them for the end. So if you don't know how to bend, you could still do some of these. We will be playing in second position in the key of G. Some of these are using the major pentatonic, and others will use the blues scale, and some will be kind of a bit mixed between both of them. So let's get started with riff number 1. Take a listen. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. This riff is a good fill over the 1 chord, that's like the G chord if we're playing in the key of on a C harp. It's a good fill over that chord in a blues progression, which is a lot of the 12 bars, right? This riff starts on 6 blow, which is the middle octave of the note G, which is our root note in this scale. So you start by just holding the note. So it's a good idea to apply either some hand effects like some wah like I'm doing, or maybe throat vibrato, which is a little not as cool if you're doing it on a blow note. So just keep that in mind. Your hand might be a better fit here. After that, we are going to move down the harp. So in this descending pattern, we start on 6 blow, and then 5 draw, 4 draw, and then we see like a common blues rhythm here, dotted eighth to a 16th note with 4 blow going to 3 draw. Like this. And then we just go back to the 6 blow. All right, that's the riff. When using this, try just repeating it and also consider improvising on some variations of the idea. You just want to be centering around that 6 blow note. That's like where this thing is anchored. So you can experiment on this on your own, but for now, let's just get this up to speed. As a bit of an experiment for today's video, I'm going to switch to a training mode using my tabbing software and play this riff written out not on harmonica, but using the digital sound in the tabbing software at 4 different tempos. So tell me in the comments if this style of presentation works for you or not. All right, let's go look at the music. So here is 1 measure of count in at 60 beats per minute. Now here's 80 beats per minute. Let's try it. Now we have 100 beats per minute. And let's end at 120 beats per minute. Before we move on to riff number 2, I want to give you something. I firmly believe that mastery of your scales will fundamentally improve your abilities on the harmonica, and I've made it really easy to go and get started with scale practice with the scale cheat sheet. It has all of the main harmonica scales listed out with notes, scale degrees, and of course, tabs. So you can download it, you can print it out. It's really helpful and it's free. The link is down below in the description. Go check it out. All right, let's go move on to riff number 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, this again mixes the major and minor pentatonic scales, and it has this cool triplet run. on the pickup, which starts on beat 4 of the previous measure. If you don't understand pickups, here's the idea. We would count 1, 2, 3, and then come in on beat 4 with this triplet, which is 3 draw, 4 draw, and 5 blow. And then we just descend on the scale with 6 blow, 5 draw, and then 4 draw. So we would do the triplet run again here, and then we just end it with a different rhythm. Here's the whole thing again. 1, 2, 3. One more time. All right, let's go jump to training mode again. Here's the riff at 60 beats per minute. All of these have one measure of count in. Here we go. Next, we have 80 beats per minute. All right, now we're ready for 100 beats per minute. And let's end at 120 beats per minute. Here is riff number 3. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, this riff uses the blues scale pretty much entirely. We start with a common blues rhythm. That's that dotted eighth to a 16th, going on 5 draw and 4 draw. Pretty simple, but you really got to get that feel in there. And then we play a descending triplet on 5 draw, 4 draw, and then 4 blow. After that, it finishes off on 3 draw, which I'm kind of doing like a scoop up, which means I'm starting on a bend and I'm releasing it to the 3 draw, and then we end on 2 draw. So sometimes you would want to repeat this phrase, and other times you may want to end it more conclusively on the 6 blow like this. Okay, and I'm kind of using my wah to get the sense of timing to be a little bit more interesting. So here's the 2 variations played back to back just one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's go jump into training mode to get this up to speed. Here is 60 beats per minute with one measure of count in. Here we go. Next, we have 80 beats per minute. Then we have 100 beats per minute. And let's end at 120. Before we go to riff number 4, could you help me out and click the like button? It's the least you could do to thank me for teaching you some new tricks. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks. All right, this next riff is a touch harder and does include some bends. Check it out. Here we go. This riff starts on a pickup, so we would start on beat 3.5. So we would count 1, 2, 3, and then you would play with. Okay, so that's the first part. To play this, we start with the 2 draw, and then 3 draw half step bend, 4 blow, 4 half step draw bend. Okay, so that's how you start this. And then you would finish this by going to the 4 draw. And it's a good place to use throat vibrato if you can do it. After you hold the 4 draw, you are going to play that note one more time. And then you are going to go on a descending triplet run with 4 draw, 4 blow, 3 half step draw bend, and then finish on 2 draw twice. Here's the whole thing together. Take a listen. 1, 2, 3. All right, that's it. Let's go jump into training mode again. Here is 60 beats per minute with 1 measure of a count in. Here's 80 beats per minute. Let's give it a shot. Now we have 100 beats per minute. Let's end here with 120 beats per minute. All right, guys, we have one final and kind of tricky riff to cover. Let's check it out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, this is all about triplets. You start with 4 half step draw bend, release to 4 draw, and then 5 draw. Okay, pretty simple. And then we go back to 4 draw, 4 half step draw bend, 4 blow. So far we have this. And then we end on 3 half step draw bend and 2 draw. And we do that the first time, and maybe we would end on a different note, like just the 3 half step draw bend on the second time. All right, guys, that's the riff. Let me play it for you one more time, and then we will jump into training mode. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm adding a little bit of vibrato there on the last note. Okay, now it's time for training mode. Let's start with 60 beats per minute. Let's move on up to 80 beats per minute. Here we go. Now we have 100 beats per minute. Let's wrap up this riff at 120 beats per minute. All right, guys, that's it for today. If you want to learn some more blues riffs, then click this video up here, and this video up here will teach you some fast and spicy licks that you might want to learn as well. So that's it. I will see you next time. Peace.